G'day everyone, it's Senator Ralph Babet here from the United Australia Party. We are lucky enough to have in the office today Vicky, who's going to provide us an update with what's been going on with the ordeal that she's gone through with the Victorian health system. Vicky, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me, Senator Babet.
Thank you. So Vicky, give us an update on what's happened so far. So last I spoke to you, you were at VCAT. So what's happened since then?
Since then, I have withdrawn my case from VCAT because from day one, it was very much biased against my case. The hospital did their best to try and discredit my exemption as much as they could. 2 weeks out before the verdict, they pretty much came back and said, well, I'm not a transplant candidate anymore. And I knew that their decision was vindictive.
So
because,
why'd they say that? Why'd they say that you weren't a candidate?
Well, because...
so you were at first?
Yeah.
And then after a while they said that you weren't?
Yeah,
okay.
And when I tried to seek secondary opinion, they pretty much, refused. And I knew from my gut feeling that it was very vindicative because I have taken, the hospital to VCAT. And, even the VCAT process from get-go, they pretty much were very biased towards my case. The member herself, she was very dismissive, very sort of condescending.
That's not a way to treat someone, is it?
No, and I mean, she sort of said things like, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And that's, for someone like myself, this is not a, this is a life and death situation, and all I was expecting is some empathy.
Some humanity.
Humanity.
Well, you know what, Vicky? For the people that may have just stumbled across this video now, who may not know your backstory, do you mind just giving us a quick recap of what happened so far, why you're sitting in this seat, what your situation was to get you to this point today? So obviously the quick version is that you need a heart transplant.
I need a heart transplant because my heart's failed, and I was, very much a suitable candidate for heart transplant up until these vaccine mandates came, obviously, and me being myself, I did a lot of research and I found out that these vaccines were not...
the mRNA.
mRNA injections were not suitable for someone like in my situation where I've got a lot of comorbidities and obviously being on life support. And when I told the team that I don't want to participate in this experiment because I don't want to play Russian roulette with my life, they pretty much said, well, no jab, no heart. So there was a lot of coercion, a lot of bullying, and I sort of, they were not very forthcoming with a lot of my questions about safety and efficacy of these.
So basically, you've got a heart condition right now. What's the heart condition called?
It's sarcoid-induced cardiomyopathy. Sarcoid is autoimmune disorder which attacked my heart.
So you went to your GP, I believe, and your GP gave you an exemption from taking the mRNA injection for COVID-19.
That's right, because I'm immunocompromised.
Yep.
And the hospital did their best to say that, no, I don't have sarcoids, therefore my exemption, to make my exemption null and void.
So they weren't going to recognise your exemption is what you're saying.
No.
And because they won't recognise your exemption, you need a heart transplant, and now they're saying that you can't have a heart transplant because you've not submitted yourself for the mRNA injection.
Yes, and also I've taken the hospital to VCAT
to try and overturn
that ruling. Which didn't sit very favourably with them. But I had no other choice, but unfortunately my reasons to withdraw was because I knew I wasn't going to get any justice.
Yeah, so the whole establishment, the whole system was against you, basically.
Yes, from day one lined up to be against me, and I didn't want to set a precedent for other people.
So now that they've denied you treatment, they've basically said, if you die, you die. It's not our problem. They've washed their hands of you in a way, in my opinion. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
So what are your options now to get the life-saving treatment that you need?
My option is to be able to seek overseas for treatment. Unfortunately, it's not an easy decision because I don't know the healthcare system overseas very well. But it's the only choice that I have if I want to be able to live a normal life. And
without these things
without
hanging
these
off you.
things
So
hanging
these,
off me.
what are these called? VADs?
VADs, yeah, ventricular assist device,
Yep.
which does the.
So that's connected to into your chest.
Yes, it is, which does the pumping of blood because my heart is not strong enough to be able to pump
By itself.
blood around my body. Yeah.
So you have to carry these around everywhere you go, and there's a tube that physically goes into you.
Yes.
Ouch. Okay.
Yes, all day, every day.
So now your option is to research the different hospitals that you can go to overseas, and hopefully head overseas for a heart transplant because they're refusing you the transplant here in Australia.
That's right. Yes.
I think it's quite sad that this is where we're at today in Australia, where they won't even help you right here at home, and you're forced to go international to get medical treatment. It's a real stain on our nation, I think. What's happening to you?
It's really sad because I've been a good citizen. I've worked, I've paid my taxes, and and obviously I need help, but unfortunately I'm being denied that. I'm being punished because I'm not partaking in a mental injection.
And according to you, there is a good reason for that because of all the issues around myocarditis and all the other things that are a side effect of the mRNA injection that we now know to be fact.
Absolutely. And also other neurological problems now, and also immune system stuff, which I already have anyway, and I don't need any more complications than I already have at the moment. So you've made that decision and now they're denying you. So speaking of going overseas, that sounds like it could be quite expensive. Yes, it is.
What are we looking at in the ballpark for this life-saving treatment?
Oh, look, we're looking at
hundreds of thousands,
hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, absolutely, US. So it's and that's why setting up a donor box where people can donate to assist with my treatment cost, which
so there is a place where people, if they want to donate, they can do so right now. So we'll get those details off you after this, and I'll share that on my page. And obviously I encourage everyone out there to also share that once you see it come up at the bottom of this post in the comments or in the post itself. So Vicky, what's the time frame looking like? When do you need to make a decision by when you're going to go? Obviously as soon as possible.
Obviously as soon as possible, but I have to make sure 100% that wherever I choose, it's going to be, the
best care.
The best care possible, because that's what I'm seeking, the best care possible, and assuring that it's going to be a safe outcome
at the end of it. Yeah. So, do you have a message for the health bureaucrats in the government, in the hospitals that have forced your hand and have basically said, we're not going to treat you, and now you've got to go overseas? Do you have a message to appeal to their humanity or anything like this? What do you want to say to them? Personally, I tell them to get stuffed, but that's just me. I'm just like that. But what do you want to say?
Look, at the end of the day, they have to live with their conscience. And, I'm a type of person where, I leave God for vengeance. I don't seek out whatever. But, at the end of the day, we all have to live with our conscience. And whatever we do, life is a revolving door. Whatever you put out, you get back. And, it's... I just hope that they're happy with themselves. It's not always about, winning. Yes, they won. I know that. But, what good is it for someone to win but lose their soul?
Yeah, well said. Thank you so much, Vicky, for coming in today. There you have, everyone, an update from Vicky in regards to her situation. Denied life-saving care here in Australia because she did not submit to the mRNA injection, and she has a medical exemption for her heart condition from taking said injection, which the hospital is not recognising. If you can help Vicky, Like I said before, link in this post and link in the comments. Please donate what you can, even if it's $5, $10. I know times are tough right now with the economic situation that we find ourselves in our nation, but give what you can. And don't forget, you could be in the position that Vicky is in now. You could be Vicky. So do all you can to help her. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. God bless you. My name is Senator Ralph Babette from the United Australia Party.